Hello, and thank you for your interest in Bubbln, a ChatGPT powered network automation tool that makes use of APIs to prompt ChatGPT to generate Ansible codes, which are then used to automate a network. My name is Olasupo Okunaiya, and this is my master's degree project at Birmingham City University. In this video, we're going to do a demonstration of Bubbln, prompting ChatGPT in real time to, make changes to a configuration that is already preloaded on Bubbln so that it can suit the parameters on our target network on the left here. So this network was built using Eve, and we can immediately see a difference in topology, when we compare with past demos that we have done where the virtual network was built using Cisco's modeling lab. So we can see straight away that we have just one router connected to our controller and every other router take their connection from R1. So what that means is we will need to have G00 pre-configured and G01 pre-configured, as well as all other connecting interfaces for the other routers, so that the controller can have a way to connect to them. But for time reasons, we're just going to focus on router 1 and router 2 in this demo. So as we always do, we'll go into router 1 to see what config we currently have running on it. Show IP interface brief, and like I mentioned, we have just two interfaces configured. The first is G00 for connectivity to our controller, and the next is G01 for connection to all other routers on the network. So we know loopback interface configured, and let's see what protocol we have running on it. Show IP protocol. So again, we can see that there's no routing protocol currently configured. So we will be configuring the EIGRP routing protocol on this network on router 1, as well as router 2. Let's see, show IP interface brief. Only the interface G00 connected to router 1 is currently configured on router 2. So we'll be configuring the loopback interface and interface G00, and let's see what routing protocol is configured. Show IP protocol. No routing protocol currently configured. So without wasting so much time, we'll just go straight into Bubbln. All right, and then like I mentioned, we already have a configuration already loaded on the on Bubbln, so we will just pick that, okay, which is this, and ask ChatGPT to generate codes based on that. So we can see, like I mentioned, the parameters are totally different from what we have on the target network. The goal is to see how effective Bubbln will instruct ChatGPT to generate the corresponding codes that will suit our target network here. So we are just going to click on Y for yes, and then a prompt is being generated based on these parameters that are here, and we'll just wait for the response from ChatGPT to generate the codes. Now this let me use this opportunity to talk about certain features that were built into Bubbln. For example, now that we have clicked on prompt, okay, so we'll talk about that in the next section. So now a response has been provided by ChatGPT with this code for router 1, and we can see, like I mentioned, the parameters are totally different from what our target network makes use of. So we will be asking ChatGPT to make changes to the parameters. And we will start with the interfaces. We'll ask it to replace loopback 10, loopback 20, and G4 with what we have on our own network is loopback 0, loopback 1. So loopback 10, loopback 20, G4, replace these interfaces with loopback 1, loopback 2, loopback 0, loopback 1, and interface G0/0. That's this one here. Okay, and assign IP addresses. As an IP address, the first one, loopback 0, is 192.168.6.255.255.255.0. The next is 192.168.0.1.255.255.255.0, and interface G4 is 172. Interface G4 and 172.168.1.17, and that is 255.255.255.0 as well. So let's see again: loopback 10, 20, G4, loopback 0, loopback 1, and G00. Assign IP addresses 192.168.1.255.255.255.0, 192.6.8.0.1, 255.255.0, and 172.168. Okay, so that's correct, respectively, and ensure no interface is shut down. Okay, so that takes care of this three interface. Now there's a fourth interface here, that's G01, which does not exist at all. So we will ask ChatGPT to generate code for interface G0/1 and assign IP address 192.168.2.1, 255.255.255.252/30. Okay, so and okay, so that takes care of that. And next is we will then fix the routing protocol issue that we have here. On the configuration, what we have is OSPF compared to EIGRP that we have here. So we ask you to replace OSPF with EIGRP AS10. Okay, so with that done, replace OSPF EIGRP with 10 and ensure area configurations are removed. Okay, so with that done, next we say remove, because there is a network here that is really not needed. Okay, so we will ask it to remove that. Remove area configurations, or let's say ensure area configurations are removed. All right, okay, then finally assign advertise all interfaces with the corresponding wildcards. Yep, wildcards. So ensure area configurations are removed. Advertise all interfaces with corresponding wildcards. Okay, so there's a last thing that needs to be done. Remove network 10.20.20.195 0.0.0.255, and I think with that we are set. So let's click on enter. This is not the conventional way Bubbln expects that networks should be configured using it as a tool. The conventional way is you input your parameters as prompted by Bubbln, and then Bubbln takes all those parameters and then generates prompts based on that and sends to ChatGPT for generation of the necessary Ansible codes. But there could be situations where maybe there are typos in the parameters that were configured, and then during this checkpoint you figure out, oh, okay, there's a typo, or probably ChatGPT generates a particular function or feature in the the code that you are not so comfortable with. This function enables corrections to be made to the code to suit your need, to suit your requirement. So with that done, we can see that all the changes we asked ChatGPT to make have been made, and everything is looking okay here. This is looking very good. This looks very good. So we just ask ChatGPT Bubbln, I beg you, to execute the code on the network. So with that done, log in. We can see that Bubbln has logged in, changed the interface for loopback 0, as in configured the interface for loopback 1, and other configurations done. And we can see the summary here, while the playbook for the parameters for the router 2 is being sent to ChatGPT for generation. So we can then look in here and confirm that the necessary configurations have been effected. Show IP interface brief. So we can see that the loopback interfaces have been configured with the required IP addresses, and then we can also see these changes made as well. So with that, let's go back into the Bubbln feedback, the feedback from ChatGPT, and see what we have here. So, well, the playbook looks good as well. However, the parameters are different from what we have on our target network. So we just have to ask Bubbln once again to ask ChatGPT to make these changes. So the response here again will be no, and then we provide the correction. Replace loopback 70, loopback 80, G2 with loopback 0. Here what we have is G00 and G02, G0/0, and oops, that should be a comma, G0/0 and G0/2. Okay, G00 and G002, and assign IP address. The first one is the loopback interface, which is 192.168.3.1 255.255.255.0/24. Then next is interface G00, which is this. So again, that will be 192.168.2.2.5.255.255.252. Then finally we have 192.168 and 192.168.4.1.255.255.255.252 respectively. Okay, and ensure no interface is shut down. Okay, so that's it. Then I think we're done with all the interface configurations. Next is we replace OSPF with EIGRP AS10 and ensure all area configurations are removed. Okay, giving an instruction that is precise and not that cannot be confused. Remove network. We have a network here, an unwanted network, so we ask it to remove network 10.20.20.199.0.0.0.255. okay, then finally advertise all interfaces and ensure the correct wildcards are used. So with that we are fine, and then we ask Bubbln, to send this prompt to ChatGPT through the API, and currently ChatGPT is trying to generate the corresponding codes based on the changes we have asked it to make on the network, and we just wait for the feedback to be made. We just wait for ChatGPT to generate the Ansible codes and then provide the feedback. So we have a response already from ChatGPT. We can see that the EIGRP has been correctly the codes for EIGRP correctly generated. Interface G02, okay. So also is interface G00, and then we have our loopback 0 as well correctly configured. So for this we will just say yes, and then let's move into interface G2, sorry, interface G2. We can see configurations already going on, loopback 0 configured and other configurations made. Beautiful. Now we can see EIGRP adjacency has been established. So we can see Bubbln has successfully configured this network, and this has taken us a total of about 949 seconds. 949 seconds. That's going to be about 14 minutes thereabout, 14-15 minutes if my mathematics is correct. You could check, so despite the side commentaries that have been made. So now let's verify that all these are correct. Show IP route. All right, so showing IP route, this is router 2, which is this router. The expectation is we should be able to get to this network and these two networks. So the first network 172.168.1, we can see that we are able to reach it through 2.1. okay, so that's okay. 192.168.0.0, we can reach it as well, okay, through EIGRP. And then the final one is 192.8.6.1. We can as well reach that network through that's the loopback interface. So that's perfect. That meets our need. To confirm that, let's say ping 192.168.6.1. okay, success. Ping 0.1, success. And ping 172.168.1.17, that's also a success. So R2 can reach all the networks on R1. And then for R1 we have show IP route. Okay, so again for R1 we expect that we will be able to reach loopback 0 and the interface, the network on interface G002. So, and here we have 3130, which is the network on interface, the loopback interface, and this is 40, which is the network on the interface G02. So let's do a ping test. Ping 192.168.3.1, 3.1. okay, so that's a success. And then when we say 4.1 as well, that's also a success. So with this, we have been able to show Bubbln to be an effective tool working in conjunction with ChatGPT to automate a network successfully. We can use natural language to ask ChatGPT through Bubbln to automate a network. Thank you so much for your time, and this is appreciated. All right, take care. Bye bye.